honestly, that's basic stuff. In fact, if you violate the law, that's exactly when due process kicks in, because you get to have a hearing of some kind to determine whether or not the case against you is true. I don't understand why that's even something a congressperson would say.
Well, just to the overall premise, President Trump was elected by the American people to secure the border, end human trafficking, and defeat the drug cartels. Hands down. That is what the American people are expecting from him. Just last night, there were 17 additional illegal aliens that were deported, 6 of them who were had raped children. Like, these are people who need to go. The administration has made it very clear that they are prioritizing criminals.
I'm going to interrupt because I want to make sure we're staying on the premise here. It's not about actually those people who, you named the 17 of them, had final orders of deportation. They had actually had their cases adjudicated. They were using basic immigration deporting tools to deport them because they did have their day in court. We're talking about the people who didn't.
But the bottom line is that, first of all, they're doing it very quickly. They're deporting illegal alien criminals. The one thing that I will say is that there's a lot of information that we don't know that Department of Homeland Security does have. They're doing their job. They have the intelligence. It may not be shared publicly, but some of it may not be able to be shared publicly at this point.
It's not being shared with the courts either. Go ahead.
They're not doing that. The person that Joe Rogan was talking about, and I actually think he might have been conflating multiple cases, is the story of a gay makeup artist named Andre, who had some crown tattoos with the name Mom on them.
There's still so much we don't know about that.
Are you suggesting that the gay makeup artist is a member of Tren de Aragua, which was the accusation? That was the stated claim. And by the way, there are many more of them. There are 3. The reason why I think Joe Rogan is a little bit confused, he mentioned a gay barber. It's actually a gay makeup artist. He might have also been a barber. I found in a 5-minute Google search 3 separate barbers who were sort of rounded up because of their tattoos that were apparently Tren de Agua tattoos. One of them is the Nike Jumpman logo. Another one, multiple crowns. I mean, you know, LeBron has a crown tattoo. Is he a member of Tren de Aragua? Like, this is ridiculous.
Caroline Leavitt was asked about this because there was a document that the administration submitted in court that basically said if you have a tattoo, you have clothing that might be associated with this gang, you're in the gang. She was asked about it. Here's what she said.
You can get classified by simply having certain symbols in your tattoos and wearing certain streetwear brands. That alone is enough to get someone classified as TDA and sent to El Salvador.
That's not true, actually, Andrew.
According to this document, it is.
Shame on you and shame on the mainstream media for trying to cover for these individuals who have. This is a vicious gang, Andrew, and you are questioning the credibility of these agents who are putting their life on the line.
That is what the document said.
Yeah. Can we go back just to the premise of what Joe Rogan was talking about? Because he's right. It's horrific to believe that in a constitutional democracy like the United States of America, where it's supposed to be guaranteed that we are having to rely on information based on an administration that does not have a good relationship with the truth. They're not even willing to provide the judges who are part of these cases with the documents to prove that some of these individuals actually either did have due process or had been found to be criminal gang members. And let's be very clear. I don't think anybody at this table wants criminals in this country who are murdering children, who are hurting people. I think that's we can probably go baseline there. But what I think we have to ask ourselves is, if you believe in a constitutional democracy, do you not want your president to follow the law? And by the way, in our own CNN poll, a vast majority of Americans said they're concerned and want to see Donald Trump follow the law.
Scott, isn't this exactly what we denounce other countries for doing? Not giving our own citizens, when they get wrongfully detained around the world, our own citizens the due process that they deserve?
Well, I think multiple things could be true. Number one, I delineate between American citizens and everyone else. If you're a U.S. citizen, I put you in a different category.
On due process, that's not a distinction that the law makes,
If you've come here and broken our laws and committed violent acts or murdered and raped and whatever, I put you in a different category.
When it comes to the law and due process, that is not a distinction.
Well, if you'd like to argue that Tren de Aragua should have the same rights and that you get as an American citizen, go ahead.
I don't change the Constitution.
Hold on a second.
The
argument is
you're saying that a terrorist can walk across the border and become effectively a U.S. citizen?
That's not what I'm saying.
Hold on. Scott, look at me. Okay.
Yeah, let's give the host
you and I are
Welcome
talking.
back.
You and I are talking.
Respect.
Okay. What I'm saying to you is that the law does not make a distinction between U.S. citizens and everybody else when it comes to being accused of crimes. Are you saying that that should not be in place? That if you happen to not be a citizen, you get to be thrown into a jail with no process at all?
I'm saying that these people are effectively terrorists. They walked across our borders illegally.
Okay,
they are violent, and I don't really want them
but
here.
But doesn't the government have to prove that they are who they say they are?
Correct.
That's
all we're saying.
That's all.
I
mean, you can say it
eventually,
it's not a concession that you like Tren de Aragua. It's just a question of the basics of civics in this country.
I think eventually the government will have to show all of its cards on everybody that they have detained, deported, or done anything to in this arena. But there is no doubt that the Trump administration is rounding up effectively terrorists who came across here illegally, committed horrific acts, and do not need to be in this country.
They are doing that, perhaps, but they're also doing a lot of other things, too. And that's why the courts are asking questions about it.